Please like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my latest video has come. And to learn more and to find a video relevant to you, please do check out my videos list.
Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We have a lot of planetary placements in our horoscope, and sometimes we tend to think, where will I get better results from? How do I get the best results out of certain placements? And we are worried about some other placements, and we are always worried about what will bring me good prosperity, abundance, and where challenges may come from. I want to give you a mantra from how to understand and utilize and get better results out of the planetary placements wherever planets are placed in your horoscope, where how to understand and utilize best energies or best results out of your planets, however whatever doshas they are placed in, if they are in debilitation, if they are in combustion, in whatever state they are in. And so these are small things that you can do in your life by virtue of which you get the best planetary energies, best planetary results. Now firstly, every planet has one weakness as its characteristic, and it also has one strong potential. Nothing comes very good to you just on a piece of platter that all planets are great. All planets have their weak sides, they also have their good sides. They have their weak points and they also have their strengths, and they play according to their weak points and their strengths in the horoscope. In nickel signs they are placed in, doshas that they are placed in, combustion that they are placed in, eclipses that they are placed in, automatically the tendency for the weak points to be enhanced by virtue of the negative energies will obviously be higher. On the other hand, if they are placed in good Kendra houses, friendly houses, Mool Trikona houses, exaltation, then obviously the tendency to give greater potential is higher. I am using the word potential rather than great results, because only potentials are guaranteed to you or given to you. Results, great results are not given to you. My guru used to tell me that you need a good horoscope as a starting point. What he meant by that is that those people who have achieved great things in life, the best of things in life, the greatest of results in life, they always had, wherever they were able to leave a mark, they had very great placements in that particular area. Sometimes in many areas of your life, those people who have had name, fame, adulation, riches, then lot of their planets are placed very well. Their horoscope has a lot of potential. But he would also say that everybody who has a great horoscope doesn't reach that result. The reason being is that everybody doesn't use that potential. Everybody doesn't use that potential, and hence sometimes people, even astrologers, they look at certain horoscopes and they feel, why has this guy really not made it that great? And then you realize that the person has not put in the effort to the potential which was given to him or her by the planets. So the starting point is a great horoscope. Potential is given to you, but you need to use that. And hence, the people who have made it really big, they will have good horoscopes, but everybody who has a good horoscope doesn't make it big because of this very thing, that you don't understand the planetary placements and you don't know how to milk the planetary placements well in the light of where they are showcasing the energy and in which direction they are presenting the energy with. And hence you will also find that people who tend to make it big, the ratio of people with good horoscopes is higher than the ratio of people who have had absolutely bad horoscopes and yet made it big. That number of people, that ratio, that percentage of people is very less, which means a good horoscope is definitely a starting point, but it doesn't guarantee you results. You still need to put in the energies or the strengths or the effort in the direction of where the planets are showcasing or showing the potential or the promise. So every planet has its challenge areas, and every planet has its potential. Now if you understand the potential of a planet and then use it, only then will you get good results from it. And as I promised at the start of this video, I will give you some small things that you can do by virtue of which you will be able to overcome the weakness of any planet in any situation, and you will be able to get the maximum result out of that planet wherever it is placed. The only thing is that the potential of good results may come basis how badly the planet is placed and how much of an effort you put in that direction. So this is directly proportional to the effort and inversely proportional to how much afflicted the planet is. So let's start. Now, as I said, every planet has its weak areas, every planet has its potential. So let's start with the first planet of the zodiac, which is the planet Mercury. The planet Mercury is the innermost planet, but it also has a tendency or a weakness, if I can use the word, to sometimes become over analytical and find fault and point fingers, or try to become this perfectionist, or try to overanalyze things, and sometimes because of over analysis, not being able to see the good side of things, not being able to see the better sides of things, and because of which also unnecessarily finding fault, pointing fingers, finding problems where less exists or none exists. And so this is a challenge where Mercury is placed in your horoscope. People tend to sometimes become over analytical or more fault finding, or try to be a perfectionist in that area. I know somebody who had Mercury and Ketu in her 7th house. That too, Mercury was the Lagna lord for Virgo ascendant native, and Mercury was placed debilitated in the 7th house. This person was very, very over analytical, and relationships, she would try and find fault with, at least in a marital relationship, it was more than the others, but it was very, very strong, and hence she was always in trouble in a relationship, and she had breakups also, and she would never know why she is not able to get the guy who she really wanted in the life, because she never gave the person a chance. She always wanted this perfect person, and she was over analytical, and she would want this perfect guy who she wanted to sculpt in her own way, and she was running into trouble. So with Mercury in any house, the first thing you need to do is try and curb your inherent nature about the areas of that house or that relationship. Your relationship is very, very important. So if Mercury is placed in the 5th house, don't be over analytical in your love relationship or with children, for example. So tend to be less complaining, less expecting, and be more forgiving, be more large-hearted here. And if you want to correct the work, don't correct the person. So if you're correcting somebody, don't say this is your problem. Say this work is not to the potential, if you can do that. But if you can live with it, please live with it, rather than putting too much stress on certain areas of life or habits. Mercury usually looks at habits of people very, very closely. So try and be more flexible about people's habits. The other thing what Mercury does, the potential that Mercury gives you, is also to be very logical. So try and be more logical in your relationships, rather than being more complaining or fault finding. Be more logical that everybody is a human being, everybody needs to be given the room, everybody will have their areas of challenges. So look at those areas which are their strong areas. So now the over analytical part of Mercury will definitely not help you do that easily, but try and focus on the better areas of that person and help enhance those. Don't try to find fault and try to make the person perfect there, but focus on that. Help use your logic and your practicality in that area, and help the person rise better in life in those areas, whichever his or her strength is, rather than you finding that this is your strength. So if you are able to do that, you will find that Mercury will give you good results. Anyways, it's a benefit, will give you good results of that house over a period of time. Whatever state it will be placed in, you will get good results from that house if you curb your potential of complaining, of finger pointing, and of trying to make a perfect relationship or perfect person or perfect work out of it, and focus more on the better side of the person. The second planet, Venus. Wherever Venus is placed in your horoscope, the inherent weakness of Venus is it's more about what am I getting, and how much am I getting? Am I getting enough? And so the challenge with Venus sometimes is that you tend to look more the material side or the intimacy side, or not at the relationship side. So wherever Venus is placed in your horoscope, focus less on am I getting enough, am I getting what I truly deserve and what I want. So here it becomes about want and need, and this is what I want, I'm not getting, that is what I want, I'm not getting. So, and I'm not getting enough. So that's how it is. So here work on the relationship rather than look at the material side. And because Venus rules Taurus and Venus rules Libra, one is a materialistic sign about money, about livelihood, the other is about relationship. So unless you curb the money side, how much am I getting, the materialistic area, the relationship sometimes is put to the sword. So here work on the relationship, don't work on the material side. Many times what we do in a relationship also is we look at how much am I getting from this person. Does this person love me enough? Does this person support me enough? Does this person care for me enough? Does this person stand by me enough? Do I get enough intimacy from this person? And we look at that rather than seeing how much am I contributing. And many times we give ourselves more points than the others. So wherever Venus is placed, work on the relationship to be able to work on the relationship with that person more and less on the material side, what you are getting. Come. And less on the other side, which is how much am I getting out of this person, how much am I getting out of this relationship. If you are able to curb that, the material side, and work on the relationship side, work on the relationship that you have with the person, then you will find that over a period of time, you will find that Venus will give you. It is just a starting point. The good results will not come to you within a day or two. The good results will come to you sometimes in weeks and months. However, you will find if you curb this tendency of how much am I getting out of that area, of that house, or out of that relationship, then you will find that over a period of time, you will tend to get good results. Venus will always reward you. Shukracharya will reward you if you work on the relationship a bit. So work, earn people, money will come by itself. Then let's look at the third planet in the line, which is closest to the earth, which is Moon. Now what is Moon? Moon is about nurturing. Moon is also about emotions. So what happens is with wherever Moon is placed, we tend to become more emotional about the matters of that house and tend to sometimes overreact also in our emotionality. One thing which Moon does is also makes us expect more, because of being emotionally attached with the relationship also. I remember somebody with Moon in the 6th house, and that person used to feel that he is not getting the kind of appreciation from his colleagues at work. So his boss used to ask him, he would always complain that my team doesn't support me, my colleagues don't support him. Then boss used to ask him, what do you want your colleagues to do? You want your colleagues to look at you in your eyes, smile at you, hold your hands, and then give you a hug for every project work that you submit on time. So, and he said, yeah, that would be good, and so that's not what you will get every time. So maybe I'm exaggerating, but sometimes you tend to become more emotionally attached to people or emotionally attached to the work that we do, and we are looking at that. To try and be more nurturing about the areas of that house, try and be more nurturing about your colleagues, try and be more supportive to your colleagues, and try and nurture the area. How do you nurture the area of that particular house where Moon is placed? Also try to see if you can add more qualifications and certification there, and that is the nourishment that Moon can give you. So if you are in any service, try and see if you can get better qualified in that service and do better in that service and be better in that area of that particular service through qualification, through certification, whatever you can do. And through that nurturing, through that supportive behavior and being less emotional about it. And sometimes moon can also make you very, very cold, that you, because it is afflicted, you could become too cold. You are not that responsive, you are not that appreciative, and so people then don't become very appreciative about you, and then people say, you don't acknowledge our work, you don't give us any brownie points when we do well, why should we do that to you? So wherever moon is placed, be more supportive, be more nurturing, be more forgiving, don't be overly emotional, be more professional about the areas of that house, nurture that relationship, nurture the work, and add qualification, add certification if you can. Then let's go to the planet Mars. What is Mars? Mars is your energy, but Mars is also a fighter. So sometimes the weakness that Mars brings to the horoscope or to that area is sometimes it makes us very temperamental and gives us a temper, also gives us an aggression apart from the energy wherever Mars is placed. So invariably every now and then we tend to get into some trouble wherever Mars is. Either we put in too much energy, we are too assertive, we are too aggressive, sometimes we are abusive also, we become volatile also. If Mars is placed in the 10th house, you will find that you will run into more challenges, you will run into those arguments, you will run into people where people become aggressive with you, assertive with you, or those emails are exchanged, those tough phone calls are there, and all that may also happen. So if Mars is placed in any house, try and work on at contributing more in that house, using your energy, focus your energies to the more positive sides and the more constructive sides, rather than spending your energy in those temperamental sides. What Mars does is, Mars is the highest fire, Mars is the most malefic planet. When you tend to give your energies more to the negative sides, to fighting, to arguing, Mars tends to push you in that direction and doesn't allow you to focus away. Mars is goal. So if you find a different goal, say for example you make your goal to fight, to argue, Mars feels, oh, this is the goal, I need to do this. So then your goal becomes to overpower others, to win over others, to win arguments, to get more brownie points in a meeting. But that is not what your end result is. Your goal is something different. Your goal is to get good project work, your goal is to get better output for your organization, for your department, or for your family if Mars is placed in the 4th house. So curb your tendency to fight, curb your the tendency to be aggressive, curb your tendency to be temperamental, curb your tendency to lose focus where you need to actually focus, and don't lose your energy. Don't drain your energy into these negative things. Every time you feel that you are losing your temper, you are becoming too temperamental, and you are not being able to focus more, work harder, spend more time in your work, focus your energies on the constructive things about that house, and work on the relationship. Mars in the 4th house, work on the relationship with your domestic life, whoever lives with your house, in your house, your spouse, your children, your parents, maybe your siblings, whoever you are with. Mars is placed in the 11th house. In general, as a person, with society, especially with friends, tend to curb your tendency to be over aggressive and over expectation from them, and try to be somebody who is able to get more constructive output out of that relationship. So try and get more constructive output out of your friends. Spend time with them, let your hair down, involve them in your work, spend good time with them, invite them into your lives, your families, spend time with each other's families, and find some constructive things that you can work on, rather than get into aggression, arguments, fights. So curb the tendency of Mars to get aggressive there. Now the next planet, Jupiter. The challenge that Jupiter sometimes gives is that I know a lot, or I know more than you. So that also sometimes comes with Jupiter. And so the wise person, you need to work more on your wisdom, your large-heartedness where Jupiter is placed, because Jupiter tends to give you, anyways, most of the time you will find wherever Jupiter is placed, some challenges, some issues may come, but Jupiter ends up giving you more. Jupiter will give you much more if you leave the tendency that I know enough, I can tell you how to do things. And sometimes in your over wisdom, or trying to be too wise, or being wise, because that is the natural tendency is also that you tend to sometimes become too large-hearted. Jupiter also sometimes makes you a little sluggish in the nature of that house, in the areas of that house, because you feel that I don't want to run in the rat race, and so you tend to become a little more sluggish, because you're not aggressive. That aggression is not there. You also become large-hearted. You allow others to take the cream more, and yet you are left with less, and in fact the crumbs. So wherever Jupiter is placed, if you want better results out of that house, or if you feel you're not getting enough, then try and become a better learner. Jupiter sometimes makes you feel that you are a guru, that you already know enough, or you know more than others. Try and think that you know less than others, and try and be a student and learn more. And here the learning is not about nourishment through education or certification, which where Moon is placed, you may want to do that more there. With Jupiter, it is about learning from experiences, life experiences. The learning wherever Jupiter is placed is about high learning, high degrees, maybe PhDs, and maybe related to research. But it is more about learning from experiences of your life. So wherever Jupiter is placed, it will give you experiences. So learn from those high experiences, become a better person. And because you are a better person, you learn from your experiences, and then you become wise. You just don't become wise because Jupiter is placed in the house, and you don't get good education just because Jupiter is placed there. You need to have the tendency to learn better, become a better student, and be able to get those attributes of the learning into your life, into your lifestyle, into your mind, into your mindset, into your thinking, into your actions, and then you will find Jupiter will give you good results over a period of time. So with Jupiter, learn more, keep your eyes open, and in any interaction with any relationship, Jupiter goes into the 9th house. You are with gurus. Keep an open mind, want to learn more. Don't try to tell the guru, this is what I learned, this, I did this. Don't try to do that. Try and become a better student, and try and become a better, remain a green apple, remain a green mango or a green apple, rather than becoming a ripe apple or ripe mango, because then the next step is only to rot. And so that will be a good thing wherever Jupiter is placed, and you will find Jupiter will expand the areas of that house. Jupiter will expand the nourishment of that house, and over a period of time you will get good results in that area of the house where Jupiter is placed. Then let's come to Saturn. Now the good thing about Saturn is about patience and practicing patience, but the challenge area of Saturn is also sometimes you tend to become too organized, too disciplined, and too much of a contributor, and instead of asking more for yourself, ending becoming this soldier who will always contribute, and bid your time to come up in life, which is not a bad thing. However, because Saturn is there, it will slow down the results. Nothing will come to you easily, nothing will come to you fast. Everything will come to you slow, everything will come to you late in life. So wherever Saturn is placed, curb your tendency to just become a foot soldier. Try and take more accountability also, and more responsibility also, and learn to be more patient. And very, very important thing, wherever Saturn is placed, learn to be more appreciative of the people who work under you in that areas of that house. So if Saturn is in the 4th house, be more appreciative of the domestic maid, or the person who comes and helps in the house, or the governess, or the tutor who teaches your children, for example. If Saturn is placed in your 7th house, then be more appreciative and help people better in your partnerships or in your teams. People are working under you. If Saturn is in your 6th house, then people who work under you or your colleagues tend to be more appreciative of their work and contribute more and tend to treat them better. So whoever works under you or below you, or who you are responsible for, tend to treat them better. You are also responsible for your spouse, for example, if Saturn is in the 7th house. So try and be more mature in the relationship, try and contribute more, but be more patient. The more patient you are with Saturn, the more you are ready to work hard, the more you are ready to treat people better. You will find that Saturn over a period of time, though slow, but you will get good results, and you will get stable results. Saturn is a planet, once it gives you good results, it will not allow anybody to take it away from you. So with Saturn in any house, be patient, let the good results come, treat people whoever were related to that house better, and don't just be a foot soldier. Also try and exert yourself so that you get more out of it, but tend to be patient also. Work your time, work hard, but bid your time, but keep pushing. keep asking for that promotion, keep asking for that growth, keep pushing ahead, and you will find with over a period of time, with your patience and treating the people below you, Saturn will give you good result, because Saturn is the planet which rules the people who work below you, who are below you in designation, in role, in life and in luck also. With wherever Sun is placed, you will find that generally you may get into some tug of war of a power and influence, which is the inherent nature or weakness of Sun. So Sun tends to push you to get more power, exert yourself and want the leadership role. So wherever Sun is placed, try and become more responsible and try and be more accountable. With accountability only comes leadership. You can't want power but not want to take responsibility. Many times you will find if Sun is there in the 7th house, you will be in some sort of a tug of war with spouse or with partners or people who you work with. Especially with spouse, I have seen with Sun in the 7th house, personality issues creep in, and I am more right, I know more than you, how dare you call me names, how dare you treat me this way. That comes into the picture, and you tend to not want to understand, you want to be listened to. So wherever Sun is placed in that any house, the general characteristic becomes listen to me, and so one needs to curb that tendency that you want others to listen to you, and always bid what do your bidding, and give in to you and treat you as somebody who is the supreme leader. So curb that tendency. With some people it may be more, with some people it may be less. Try and be more humble. Wherever Sun is placed, try and be more humble in the area of that house. Tend to listen more and talk less. Tend to give more, take more responsibility, but don't try to become a dictator or be a leader, or don't get into personality issues, and don't get into a power and influence game. That is the worst thing. Sun will burn up all the results of the house that wherever it's placed in. Sun in the 7th house, very rarely will you have a best of relationship. Sun in the 5th house, there may be challenges related to your love life, there may be challenges related to children. Sun in the 11th house, in general with friends and with extended society, you may also tend to sometimes overexert yourself, want that leadership, want the power and your influence. Sun in various houses is a good energy to be with, unless you push yourself too hard and then you burn that area. Sun in the Lagna can give you a lot of pride, more pride than you want, and you want the leadership position. So with Sun, try and be more humble, try and listen more, and try and be somebody who takes more accountability, but not tries to become a dictator. And you will find Sun will shine in your life. Sun will give you better results of that house, of that relationship over a period of time. Now let's come to the nodes. With Ketu, wherever Ketu is placed, Ketu is a planet of negation. Ketu says we have been here before, you have done that, and everything of that house you have already enjoyed. So in this life, less is more for you there. So wherever Ketu is placed, try and contribute more to that house without expecting anything in return. Ketu will negate the results of the planet or give you very, very less. So here this life is about giving and contributing. So wherever Ketu is placed, try and get more brownie points in terms of your karma. The better karma you have in that house, wherever Ketu is placed, you get many brownie points. You tend to get good results of all the other houses. Ketu will definitely curb the tendency of that house it is placed in. But you contribute more there, you tend to improve your karma there, you will find that all the other houses slowly improve over a period of time. So wherever Ketu is placed, contribute more, give more, expect less wherever it is placed, and you will find and improve your karma, get more brownie points. With Ketu in any house, have this moksha energies, try to move towards them. An important thing is, see, in any horoscope, the first house is the Dharma Bhava, the second house is the Artha Bhava, third house is the Kama Bhava, and the fourth house is the Moksha Bhava. Why is the first house Dharma and the fourth house Moksha, and in between you have Artha and Kama? Why? What does it mean? It means that between your duty, your Dharma, and Moksha, salvation, comes the Kama, desires, and money, Artha, the wish for more money, the wish for more materialism. So if you allow more materialism to come between you and moksha, if you allow your wishes and desires to overpower you, in your need for materialism, then the moksha, the salvation will not come to you. So curb your tendencies, curb your desire for for karma, curb your desire for more materialism, curb your desire for getting more out of relationship, out of work, out of out of friends in the 11th house, wherever Ketu is placed. Tend to contribute more. You may get less on that relationship also. Ketu in the 11th house, many times friends may do less for you. You may need to go out, become the 4 o'clock friend for many others. Many others may not stand by you when your hour of need is, but that is your karma. Live your karma, contribute more, and you will find that many other areas of other houses also improve when you end up giving more, wanting to give more, and getting less for yourself in the house where Ketu is placed. Last but not the least, Rahu. Rahu is your karma for this life. So wherever Rahu is placed, your karma is there. But what Rahu also does is, Rahu tends to look in other people's plates, other people's houses, other people's spouses. Like, do I have better? So if you Rahu is placed in the 2nd house, you may look at, am I earning more? Is somebody else earning more than me? You want to earn the best in your team. You want to eat the best food. Somebody has better, then you tend to also feel that I also need more. So you tend to look at other people's spouses. For example, if Rahu is in the 7th house, that's the other person's spouse is better. She is more loving, she is more caring. That guy is gives more things to his wife. He's more chivalrous to his wife, and all that thing comes in with Rahu in a certain house. So curb the tendency to be greedy. Curb the tendency for more hunger in the areas of that house. Wherever Rahu is placed, do your karma, because that is the karma. You will have to do things more in that house and wherever Rahu aspects. Curb your tendency for more and try and do better in that in the area of that house, which means in the area of wherever Rahu is placed. If Rahu is placed in the 7th house, curb your tendency for more and contribute more, and work on the relationship, and you will get more. So try and keep an equal relationship and look at what the person is contributing, so that you know that and try and see that, look at and try and be more grateful. Wherever Rahu is placed, be more grateful about that house. Wherever Rahu is placed, don't look at the other person's plate, don't look at the other person's spouse. Be more appreciative. The more grateful you are, the more appreciative you are, the more thankful you are, you will find that you will tend to attract more, because Rahu is better behaved than trying to exert yourself and trying to get more out of the relationship, out of that house. So wherever Rahu is placed, be more grateful, be more thankful, be more appreciative, and curb your hunger, curb your greed, and you will get good results. So friends, wherever all the planets are placed in your horoscope, tend to be on your best behavior in that particular house, in the relationship, contribute more, do more in that area, put more effort, and you will find that over a period of time you will get best results. And that is the best way to understand, utilize, and get more out of the planetary placements in your horoscope. So please like this video, please share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me at the links given below in the description box. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend Astrologer and Guide Irfan signing off.